Hi there, I'm back. This is part 3 of my series on how to hold the bass while standing. Just to look at some basic techniques, how to get a really good basic setup for approaching the instrument while standing up. The first video went over just how to hold the instrument. A quick recap, and here's a link right here if you want to watch that entire video. Just a quick recap though. No hands. Stand comfortably, soften the left knee, instrument leaned into the body, 3 points of contact, define a plane, which is a very stable geometric shape. Right here on the abdomen, the inside of the kneecap, the end pin, holding comfortably. Part 2, if you talked about getting the bow involved, if you'd like to watch part 2, I'm going to put a link right here that'll take you back to the video for part 2, which is getting the bow involved. In that we went over how to play an open string, also with no hands, how to get the bass forward onto its toes and not let the bow knock it backwards so that you end up holding it with your thumb. Part 3, which is this one, will be about getting the left hand involved. In part 2, spend some time talking about the idea of equilibrium, where you have two opposing forces balancing each other, and you have a system that's in balance versus one of the forces being too much, and then you have to overcompensate. So you establish equilibrium with the bow. You have force from the bass pushing forward, from having it leaned slightly forwards on its toes, force from the bow pushing back against it, and you have a balanced system here. When you get your left hand up on the instrument, you have new forces involved, which are also pushing back this way. So one of the things that happens to keep your thumb relaxed, to keep your ability to shift quickly and easily, is you have to take the bass and lean it just a little bit further forward. So maybe about here. So that now I have my curved fingertip on the string. I can get the string to push all the way down against the fingerboard with very little force applied from my thumb. In fact, on my instrument, which is a nice professional instrument, it's well set up, I can play a scale. I don't even need my thumb if I put my instrument at the correct angle forward so that I end up with these balanced forces. Now, I certainly don't play that way, but I want to demonstrate that it's possible, and it's an exercise that I make my students go through. Of course, I use my thumb, but I want to keep the pressure exerted by my thumb against the back of the neck to a minimum, and I certainly never want to find myself in a situation where my thumb is what's holding up the bass. Now, you may have noticed when I was playing my open string, right here, when I went to put down a finger to play a note, again not using my thumb, I leaned the bass way forward. Now I have enough force, I have an assist from gravity leaning forward into my finger that it's going to get the finger to press all the way down against the string and still have enough to add my bow. I have a system in equilibrium right now where I don't even need my thumb. Now, it's a little bit ridiculous, so I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to split the difference here a little bit. I'm going to lean a little bit more forward. I'm going to use my thumb just a tiny bit. I don't know if you can see. Maybe I'll turn sideways. Maybe you'll be able to see this in the video. I don't know if you get a sense from this about how much pressure is being put forth from my thumb. It's not a whole lot. If someone were to come and grab my thumb, they would easily be able to move it off the back of the neck, and that's very important. So when I'm playing, and this is one of the things, again, that I enjoy about standing up, it's a very dynamic approach to the bass. Now, it's also maybe can be a little bit of a challenge, can take a little bit of getting used to, that the instrument is never sitting still. You start here with balance. When you put the bow, you lean forward a little bit. When you put a finger, you lean forward a little bit more. When you lift to play an open string, you got to bring it back. You're always moving just a little bit. But like I said before, that is one of the things I enjoy about playing standing up, is that you're always moving with your instrument. It's like doing it's like you have a dance partner in your instrument. And music, I find, flows better for me. I play more musically. It's one of the things I like about it. Some other things about dealing with this, getting the left hand involved. Lean a little bit forward for your first finger, fourth finger. Here's a shift. Making the shift. Release. If you can't release, you can't make the shift. Now, okay, I went from here and I said release. I actually released. I doubt you can see that very well from the angle of the camera, and I don't think I can get a camera up here close enough to show you what I'm talking about. Maybe if I turn sideways and just point to it really clearly. Here, excuse me, here I've got my B pressed down. I can have it ring out. When I get ready to shift, I'm going to release the pressure from the B. My fingers are lightly touching the string. They are not pressing it down. My thumb is very, very soft here. When I go to shift, I'm going to slide my fingers up the string, and I'm going to re-engage. But if I can't release with my thumb and my fingers, I will not be able to make a shift. So if I don't have the bass up on its toes, if I've got it leaning back here against my thumb, I'm going to shift and I'm going to end up in the thumbs up position, which you see so many kids doing because you've got this friction on your thumb from leaning it back and holding the bass up, and you end up in this position, which is just a whole big mess, right? You're out of tune, your fingers are collapsed, you lose all of your flexibility, all of your dexterity. Keeping the bass on its toes. Release the pressure, no pressure on my thumb because the instrument is forward, very little pressure on my fingers, and some of that is in fact taken up by the bow. My bow is holding up the instrument. I slide along the string, I re-engage the string, and then I can play my notes. So see if I can do that. I'll stay turned a little bit sideways. Maybe you'll be able to see the release, the shift, the re-engagement, the tilt, the bow holding up the instrument just a little bit. So I'm just going to play a D scale. You can watch out for that shift. Here we go. Bass a little bit forward the entire time. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of just how to approach the instrument, how to get the left hand involved, some of the things you need to look out for with kids getting their fingers. If you found this helpful, I'm going to put a link right here. Go ahead and like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. There's more stuff coming. The next video in this series, I'm going to talk a little bit about the thumb position, which presents some other unique problems. Again, this is the third video, so over here again I'll put links to videos 1 about holding the instrument with no hands, video 2, getting the bow involved. Like, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for the 4th video about thumb position. Thank you so much.